this pile right here. I guess there's no good in doing the X's.
What? Oh, Vanessa's wedding was canceled.
Yeah, we're sending out telegrams to all the guests and make sure they don't come. Now, take this pile right here and sit down.
No. You just count me out. I'm not up for anything that depressing today.
What's the matter, honey?
It's nothing, just the weather, I guess.
It's beautiful out. Listen, if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay.
No. It's just, after all this time, after the miscarriage, I'm still not pregnant yet.
Oh, honey, it's only 5 months. You got to give your body some time to recover.
It has recovered.
Well, maybe you're trying too hard.
No, the problem is we're not trying hard enough.
Does Ed still want the baby?
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. He's just so preoccupied lately. Our time together is real nice, you know, but there's just so little of it.
I mean, because of his work.
Oh, it's just getting worse and worse, Ma. If it's not Warren Andrews scheming, it's the nurse's schedule or the residence grants or that stupid Dr. Stevens and his secret research this morning. This morning, it was the lovely Claire Ramsey and her setting up a rehabilitation schedule with Ed. And I know it's very important that Ed gets that all straightened out.
Listen, obviously this Claire Ramsey or whatever her name is taking up too much of his time.
No, it's not really.
No, listen to me. You've got to put your foot down and demand his attention and his time.
Nola, what are you talking about? I don't think she should put any pressure on Ed. I never put any pressure on your father. And we had 7 of them here.
Well, that was obviously an exception. But most men, they need to be shaken up. They take us for granted, and you've got to demand his attention now. You really do.
No, forget it. You know, I came over here for a nice, friendly little chat. I didn't come over here for a lecture.
Now, I'm not lecturing you.
Whoa,
Hey,
button it.
Come on, sit down.
Come on, sit down. Now, what can we do to help you, dear? Oh, nothing. I guess I just have to work this out for myself. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not thinking enough about Ed and what he's going through.
Hey, housekeeper. I had to see you right away. What was I supposed to say? I needed a 4th for bridge?
Now, you asked me not to tell anyone that I had spoken to you, and I agreed, but you're making that awfully difficult to do.
It was very important that I talked to you.
Well, let me tell you something, Dr. Stevens. My wife is very pregnant right now and very curious as to why I'm receiving mysterious phone calls.
Your wife is pregnant?
Yes. And so I don't want her upset right now. Do you understand? Now, what's so urgent that you had to see me in person?
It's about the necklace.
We have been through that already, and I told you everything I know.
But you haven't told me everything there is to know, and I need to know more, Mr. Chamberlain. And you're the only one that can help. I'm talking about a piece of jewelry, Mr. Chamberlain. This necklace is very important to my research.
Then find the information yourself.
Believe me, if I could, I would. But I'm not an archaeologist. I don't have your background or the time.
Perhaps I don't have the time either. Did that thought ever cross your mind, Dr. Stevens?
Make the time.
You know, I think this may come as a big shock to you. But you'll get a better response from people when you tell them exactly what it is you're after, instead of snapping orders at them all the time.
Mr. Chamberlain, I'm a specialist in infectious diseases. That's the work I was doing in San Rios.
I am familiar with the scientific journals, Dr. Stevens.
My research for the past several years is centered on a disease that the natives of San Rios calls Extabe.
Extabe? That's an Inca word. It means the siren that lures men to their death.
That's right. It derives its name from the delirium that's brought on at the onset of the disease.
Is this Extabe fatal?
No, well, in most of the cases I've studied so far, always. I've been able to isolate the cause of the disease, but I haven't been able to develop an antidote yet, and now it's spreading. That's why time is so important. If this disease isn't contained quickly, it could get in the United States.
You're talking epidemic here.
Of worldwide proportion.
All right. Now, where does the necklace fit in?
The necklace was given to me by the medicine man of one of the tribes I was studying in South America.
Did the disease affect this tribe?
No. Strangely enough, the natives seem to have a natural immunity to the disease.
Do you know why?
I studied them over 2 years. They seem no different than any other tribes in that area of the interior.
I see. Did the disease have any effect on the other tribes?
Decimated. totally wiped out.
This medicine man, did he tell you why his particular tribe was immune to the disease?
Faith. Faith in the unknown. Zamana was skeptical of my reliance on scientific proof. To tell you the truth, I was rather skeptical of his faith in the unknown.
Samana?
Yes, that was his name.
Samana, that's the name for the creator, according to the Incas. It's the god of water. It also means water.
Very good.
I see. I suppose you checked out the water supply.
I've cultured samples of that water so many times I can see them in my sleep. And no, there's nothing that's effective against that organism in that water.
But you think there's something about this necklace that is effective against the disease?
I didn't say that. But at the moment, there's very little else to go on.
I see. So that's why you came to me.
Mr. Chamberlain, millions of lives could be at stake here. And you're the only one here that can help me.
All right. I'll take the necklace, I'll go back to the lab, and I'll examine it again.
Thanks.
Oh, and Dr. Stevens, I hope your motives are as altruistic as they seem to be.
Why shouldn't they be?
Well, there's a saying in the Book of Proofs of the Incas. He who understands will someday be ruler over the people. I'll be in touch.
I'll never forgive myself for not being here.
Listen, Tony, are you all right? Listen, you have to give me the name of the perpetrator.
It's not
The
silly. If I had
perpetrator.
been there where I
Look, was he
belong,
tall?
none of
Did
this
he have
would
dark hair?
happened.
Did he have any distinguishing scars on his face? Was he short?
Anything about the robbery and company unless you were in on it.
Oh, come on. I'm your mother. I'm supposed to sense that kind.
Yeah, I think you're being hard on yourself. I'm his fiance. I didn't have any kind of premonition.
I think it was the mob who did this.
Just listen, this Luchek kid's part of a gang, not the mob.
No, that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever said.
It is not ridiculous. What about the black limousines? Have you seen any black limousines?
Just
around?
one, yours.
Oh, honey, how's your head feel? You feel any better?
My head feels fine until everybody comes in here and starts making a fuss over me. Now, come on, will you give me a break? I'll make a bet with you, Ma.
What?
I'll bet I'm out of the hospital before you quit feeling guilty about this.
No, we
True.
talked to Kelly Nelson about that, and he said there's some x-rays they have to go over before they can come to that conclusion.
Yeah, well, I'm personal friends with the chief of staff here, and I'll bet that counts for something.
Well, as a matter of fact, Tony, it does. Ed's just been consulting with the radiologist, and he'll be here with his verdict soon.
Oh, we'll tell him I want time off for good behavior.
Oh, no, you do just what he says.
Listen,
Tony.
what about a
Just what
hat?
he
Did he
says.
have a hat on? Like a fedora is what they're called in the...
of your own
In-
hospital room.
In the 30s, they're called. They could
This
usually
man is
have...
supposed to be resting in here. I'm serious.
How can a condemned man rest?
Not as bad as all that. We're just going to keep you overnight for observation.
Oh, you are? Oh, I thought you were going to be able to come home.
It's just a precaution. Want to make sure there's no hairline fracture that didn't show up on the x-ray. And if no symptoms develop,
Well, so what kind of symptoms?
dizziness, nausea, blurred vision. If those don't show up, then we'll release him tomorrow morning.
Oh, good. That's good.
Rest. Let him rest.
I love you. Yeah, well, I love you, too. And I should have sensed that something was going wrong. I usually have...
Listen, I love you too, but you've got to tell me about this perpetrator for your own good.
Tony,
So we
I
can
love you
contact
too,
the
and you can
police.
use my limo
No,
if you want tomorrow instead of
you've got
walking.
to contact the police about this.
Hell,
This is not a
I'm gonna need a week in the hospital to recover from all this love.
Oh.
Nola said she's going to do something very painful to you if you miss hearing the baby's heartbeat.
Yes, well, I thought our appointment with Dr. Sedgwick wasn't until 8:15.
It is.
Oh.
Sounds like somebody doesn't want us in there.
Yes, well, walk back with me, will you?
Yeah. You know, Quentin, we may have just heard audible evidence of the existence of Dr. Stevens. This is his lab, you know. Strictly off limits.
Oh.
Well, there's no one there.
Yes, well, we better hurry.
Okay. Well, what were you doing down there anyway?
Oh, I think I was lost.
Well, it's a good thing I found you. You may have ventured into Dr. Stevens' lab, never to be heard from again.